So, tell me a little bit about the journey of an aspiring professional musician today versus 50 years ago. Because I know technology has changed the game. I was in radio for, a decade, and radio was completely different. And so what is the journey like today than it was 50 years ago? Somebody trying to make it.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, but basically the recording industry is dead in the sense that almost nobody sells any physical units of their CDs anymore. And that was a model that for like 40 or 50 years was really what drove the whole industry. And you still need to make recordings, you still need to make good ones, and that's actually, I love making recordings just as much as I love performing. I mean, equally as much in some ways, in some phases even more. But now you do them and they're sort of like your calling card. Like, you need to have them done. Absolutely. I mean, I think most artists like to record, right? But even if you don't, you absolutely need recordings. But you don't really make money from them. The recordings are what gets your music out there, and then hopefully people will come to your shows because they like you because you've done that. So, and, in a sense, there are pros and cons to it, right? Because the record labels used to be gatekeepers, and that's not the case anymore. Anybody can make anything on a laptop. But, so, the silver lining to that is anybody can make anything on a laptop. So you actually don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to get your art out there. At the same time, you're competing with anybody and everything, and there's a lot of amazing stuff out there, but there's also a lot of, dare I say, pretty poorly done crap, And so, but it's all.
How do I say?
Yeah,
crap?
I hope that doesn't come off as all that pretentious. It's just.
I think it was honest.
It's just honest. No matter what it is that your craft is, it takes a while to actually develop it and do it well, and so sometimes the technology, I think, is allowed that step to sort of be missed a little bit. But at the same time, if you don't have a rich uncle and you're not uber connected, you can still make a great recording and you can get noticed for that. So
I feel like everyone has a rich uncle. Why is that such a unique
I don't have a
archetype?
Rich uncle.
No, okay. It's always a rich uncle is what drew my attention to it. So I just have a few more questions for you, if that's cool.
Yeah.
So what is the ultimate dream of Eric H. Anderson? Like, what is it? It could be anything these days. Is it still that rock star dream? What is it? If you could wake up tomorrow and have absolutely anything happen, what would it be?
Well, it's really, truthfully, it's definitely not rock star, and really never really was. And I'll clarify what I mean by that. Certainly what I want is to have the music that I'm making have an impact on people.
Okay.
And absolutely I want people to like it. And if that turned into having the type of success that Billy Joel had, yeah, that would be great. But that's not actually what drives me to do it. I would be thrilled with the ability, which is such a gift as an artist, to be able to reflect what I'm feeling in a way that people can interact with, that has meaning for them and has meaning for me, and I can still keep the lights on. And I know that's not like necessarily the moonshot answer that I think a lot of people are hoping for.
No, it's pure.
But it's real. Yeah.
It's a better vision.
Sure.
I think, and less selfish.
Sure. Yeah. And to have a lot of impact, that's great. I'm not the type of person who, I think it's great to see, the Beatles and U2 and these huge artists that I think have made an impact in a significantly positive way. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that either.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, one of my favorite artists, Ben Folds, well, he's made a huge impact, but he's not a household name. But he does exactly what he wants to do artistically. Nobody tells him what he needs to make. No record label, no anything. He does exactly what he wants, and it's certainly lucrative enough where he's, having a great life. So,
what are some of the peaks of your career so far? I know you said working with Ben Folds. I know you've been on stage. God, you've been on stage with a lot of rock stars.
Well, it's always cool to perform with Daryl Sturmer, the Genesis guitarist, too, because that's another example of somebody where it's like he's just such a amazing down to earth guy, but he's actually the real deal. It's not like, okay, you're in one of the biggest rock bands ever and you got lucky or something. Hell no. He's totally legit, and he's a prepared, highly capable musician. So there's rock star, and that's, you think of like the playing at the Super Bowl type, which he's actually played at the Super Bowl, but it's you think about the bullshit, the sex appeal, just all of that stuff that goes along with thinking in rock star sense. But you also have some of these guys that are just like actually amazing at like He started with Jean-Luc Ponty. He's an amazing jazz violinist. I mean, anyway, that was a long answer, but it's always great. I've gotten to sing in his band quite a few times now, and that's just so much fun because it's just amazing to be able to work with people of that caliber. The novelist got to go on a music cruise with Train, Sail Across the Sun, which they chartered. That was like totally, opened up tons of doors. Was just a total blast. Lots of great artists on there.
You were on stage, Silver Legacy, forever ago with someone huge, and I am blanking
Silver
right
Legacy,
now.
was it Colin Ray, the country guy?
No. Oh my gosh, I'm totally going to text you when I leave this record studio and be like, it was this person, female rock star.
Silver Legacy?
El Dorado, somewhere
Is
down
it
there.
the Grand Sierra?
Yes.
Is when Kate and I opened for Pat Benatar?
That was it. That's a big deal. You opened for Pat Benatar.
Well, that was fun. Yeah.
I was like, your name starts with a P.
There's a picture.
There's
a picture of us like this.
Yeah.
Where I'm like going this way because I had a cold and I did like the last thing I wanted to do was get Pat Benatar sick.
She's like, Eric H.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could collab with anyone tomorrow, who would it be? 3 people.
Okay. Well, it would be Ben Folds.
Ben Folds.
It would probably be John Legend.
Okay.
And Zach Turan. Definitely be. Yeah, that's my goal.
There he is.
That would
Ben
be
Folds, John Legend, Zach Turan.
my collaborations.
And finally, I've done a lot of celebrity interviews, and you are a celebrity.
No.
So, Ani DeFranco, St. Paul and the Broken Bones, JJ Grey and Mofro. I've done a lot of them, and I have ended every single one with a very important question.
Oh, I remember this. I can't remember quite what it is, but I remember I heard these interviews.
So I ask every single one of them, right. And I do want to let you know that there is an objective answer. So don't fuck it up.
Okay, great.
What is the single greatest baseball movie of all time?
The Sandlot.
That is the incorrect answer. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to accept it. There's really no wrong answer. But it's not The Sandlot.
What the fuck is it then? I thought I heard the interview and that was what it was.
That's because no one's ever gotten it right. And I'm sitting live radio with Ani DeFranco. I'm going to nod at whatever she says.
Is that what she said?
I don't remember. Why am I blanking on that one? A League of Their Own.
Well, League of Their Own. League of Their Own. Girl power.
That. Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is Bull Durham. But the judges will accept Sandlot, League of Their Own, Major League.
Major League.
Basketball is not an acceptable answer. Okay. Angels in the outfield,
Dodgeball.
Definitely.
So
yeah, but okay. Well, thank you so much for asking me to do this.
Yes.
I love you.
Love you too.
Mwah.
All right. Cool.